to Wesley's Tasty Kitchen. Tonight is Italian, and we are making homemade pasta sauce for spaghetti. But we use this pasta sauce for other things like lasagna. Of course, we use tomatoes and tomato paste and onion and some garlic and fresh ground round, about 3 pounds of it. And we have some other ingredients we'll show along the way. But come join us as we make this very tasty and very delicious pasta sauce. First, we're starting with about 2.5 to 3 pounds of ground round that I had frozen. I had this frozen for about a week or so. Had some left over and I froze it. So it's relatively fresh. It's been frozen for about a week. And we're gonna get this nice and brown. As it starts browning up, we're then gonna add some onions to it. I don't know which spoon I want to use. I'll use a wooden spoon. Okay. So we're just going to start the browning process. And I'll be adding the onions. 70% of the way there. We got some ways to go, but it's going to continue to cook. I'm going to first add a little bit of garlic salt, a little bit of a pepper garlic salt blend. We don't think you can get too much garlic personally. And then I'm going to add the onions. We'll be adding the fresh garlic a little later. And I'm a little bit sloppy. My wife calls me sloppy chef. But anyway, now we're just going to continue to brown the meat and cook the onions with the meat as they become kind of soft in the mixture. And then we'll start doing some more seasoning and adding the tomato. Next thing we'll add actually is a tomato paste and brown it with the meat after, and add some more seasoning. Now that the meat's browned, this is ground round. We do not have a lot of fat. If you're probably using ground chuck or ground beef, you might have to drain off some of the fat. And now just adding the tomato paste, and I'll mix that in and brown it with the meat. Just incorporate it pretty good with the meat. That's one 6-ounce can of tomato paste, or if you have the squeeze tube kind, just play it by ear. It doesn't hurt if it's 6, 8 ounces. Or if you like it really, really tomatoey thick, which my wife does like her sauce a little on the thicker side. That's why we like to use paste. Mix it go a little further. We'll be probably adding a little bit of chicken stock to this too during the process or down the line. But okay, now the tomato paste has been incorporated in pretty well. I add about a touch of some chicken stock to it, just something I had on hand. And if you have homemade, that's great, or you can just use this, or you can use better than bouillon. I use all the above. It just depends on what I have. So now we're going to be adding the tomatoes to the dish. By the way, I'm using whole tomatoes. You can use crushed tomatoes or tomato puree or tomato sauce. I prefer it with either the crushed tomatoes or the tomato puree, or just crushed up my own whole tomatoes. So, but it's fine either way. Just whatever tomatoes you have on hand, or fresh tomatoes if you got them. Crush them up in your food processor or your blender. I also have a can of diced tomatoes here, which I'll be adding for a little more texture. So as you can see, now we have the tomato paste meat mixture. We're incorporating it with the crushed tomatoes and the diced tomatoes. And we'll probably have to taste it a little bit with a spoon and probably maybe add a little more salt. We'll be adding the fresh garlic soon that I've already removed the skins from through my garlic press. Okay, and we're still simmering along. The next step. It's been about 7 or 8 minutes since I last came to you. So nothing's really happened other than just a slow simmer. I did taste it, and I believe it has enough salt in it. I did add a dash of pepper, but I love pepper, so just to your all's family's taste. I'm quite fond of pepper. A couple ingredients, these are completely optional, not necessary, but sun-dried tomatoes and pesto. A lot of different pestos out there. You can make your own homemade one. This one's pretty good. We get this one at Costco. So I'm gonna add a little bit of that, and I'm adding several, actually about 2.5 bay leaves to it as well. I should have added that earlier, but it still have some time to get some flavor into it. Fresh is better, but these are dried bay leaves. We never hardly have fresh bay leaves. Okay, so now I'm about ready to get some more of this pesto. It lasts us a good while. And a good spoonful of sun-dried tomatoes. Maybe about 2 of those. 1 of the pesto and 2 tablespoons of the sun-dried tomatoes. And we're going to, I've already got my garlic press full. We're gonna do the first thing of garlic. We got 1 more. Just gotta get my garlic press through. Work. Get out the skins. Give it a good squeeze. Get off. There we go. Get my wooden spoon. Incorporate the garlic, the pesto, and the sun-dried tomatoes. And just let everything simmer. The longer the better. I'd say the whole sauce needs, by the time you start browning the meat and the simmering stage and everything, needs a good 60 minutes to really get the flavors well married together. I do as well, and I'll be bringing that one down the line, a quicker Instant Pot version that you can do much quicker, and probably about 1/3 of the time, 20 to 25 minutes, just with the pressurization and depressurization. But just doing it the old-fashioned way. Everybody's got a stove and a big pan that they can do it with. So we'll be showing the final stages soon.